Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, this is the greatest time of the day. From the center of the universe, New York City, it's the main event you've been waiting for. It's time to go in the cage with Cyclone.
And guess what, everyone? I'm not the only one in the cage today. I have someone sitting shotgun. We're going to get to that later on. But in the meantime, it's the 28th of August, 2017. And it is a beautiful mid-70s degree day here in Gotham City. But, you know, me personally, I kind of like it another 20 below this. Because, you know, big guys, we don't do good in warm weather. So, yeah. And of course, I would be I'd be messed up if I didn't say my prayers and thoughts to everybody down in Houston dealing with the aftermath of Hurricane Harvey, including 3 friends of mine who are now swimming pools in their living room, which I'm allergic to chlorine. I think swimming is kind of fun, but swimming in your living room might not exactly be exactly the way they wanted to do it. But anyways, just a quick reminder, In the Cage with Cyclone on Facebook. Hit me up on Twitter at CYCIE19. Boneheadpicks.com for all my MMA articles. And there's going to be some news I have about Bonehead Picks and my future there. And of course, everything Cyclone, just because you can't get enough of me, CycloneComedy.com. I want to say that we'll be talking about, there was some kind of mediocre small boxing event this weekend.
What?
Yep. We're going to be talking Mr. John Jones. We're going to be talking some Bellator 182. And we're going to be talking a whole bunch of stuff. Normally, it goes big stuff first, and then it twinkles down to the teeny tiny stuff. That's the way we do it in entertainment. But you know what? I want to cover all the tiny stuff first, because the big stuff is big. Bigger than my gut. And we're going to start all of that and much, much more right after this.
This is Frank Yeager. This is the Barbarian Tim Bosch.
I'm World Series of Fighting undefeated lightweight champion Justin Gaethje.
MMA legend, UFC Hall of Famer, Iceman. Check it out. If you got the guts, step in the cage with Cyclone.
Alrighty. So let me put it to you like this. Everything ties around Conor. This is this show is 6 degrees of Conor McGregor. Okay? Because somehow, some way, everything is affected by him. Right off the bat, tomorrow is episode 8. It's the final week of Dana White, the Tuesday Contender Series. And you're going to say, how is that connected to Conor? Well, Snoop, who does this, the Snoop chat, Snoop rant, whatever you want to call it, okay, it was a good idea for Dana to bring someone not heavy duty into MMA to provide the entertaining look. And him and Uriah Faber, there's a good chemistry there. It happens that good chemistry comes with the alcohol they're drinking, but it's a different side of MMA, and it really gives somebody like me, hope. And I say hope because you never want to bite the hand that feeds you. And for Snoop to late last night or early this morning or whenever the hell it was, okay, he went on a cursing rant against Conor McGregor. Now look, you don't bite the hand that feeds you. Conor is right now Dana's boy. You don't really want to anger the boss. Now yes, tomorrow's the last episode of season 1. And by the way, if you guys don't have enough of Dana, don't worry, because you still have Tough. You still have Dana White looking for a fight. So Homeboy is like Gordon Ramsay, 101 TV shows. So you could always find him somewhere. That being said, it's a serious question if Dana will bring Snoop back next season. Who knows? That's tomorrow. Then Thursday is Invicta FC 25. And you know what? If you check out the Invicta roster and how hard these girls fight, they are absolutely awesome. And I'll tell you what, as much of a chauvinistic pig as I can be, which I know is hard for many of you to imagine, women in sports try so much harder than guys. I don't care if it's boxing, basketball, anything. Women are actually a lot tougher than guys. But there's 2 title fights on the line. The strawweight championship is up for grabs, and so is the bantamweight championship. Friday, LFA 21 goes down, and you say, how does that correlate with Conor? Well, the other day was LFA 20, and the judges' scoring all night on LFA 20 was odd. It sucked. Sort of like the judges' scorecards for the Conor fight. See how I tie it in? This is what you call in the business a segue. I am a segue machine. And then on Saturday is One Championship 60 in Japan, and Fight Night 115, headlined of course by Stefan Struve and Alexander Volkov. And just an inside tip for you guys, it looks like that Jermaine Durandamy is not going to be replaced on the card. So it looks like Marion Renault will not have an opponent, and she will be by herself, and that's one less fight. There's now probably going to be 9 fights on that card. The fight with Jermaine was a mediocre card. Without Jermaine, you guys really, really don't need to watch. You know who needs to watch? I need to watch it. You know why? Because I need to then, after the card, write some stories, have it put up on Bonehead Picks, and this way you guys can just read about what happened while I have to watch what happens. I'd like to say that I'm going to miss Brian Stan, who announced that he is leaving commentating in the UFC, and he's going into real estate. So between Ally Quinta and now Brian Stan, it's interesting that these really good guys are choosing real estate. And I'll tell you, real estate, it can be tough. First of all, Brian Stan can do it. The guy's a former Marine. The guy's a kick-ass fighter. The guy's a beast. And he's, by the way, one of the nicest guys on the planet. So it's not like he can't go into real estate and can't be successful there, but it is a big, big loss for the UFC. And if you remember, back when the UFC was sold, Dana White said by September he would have the broadcasters he wants in place. So you gotta wonder if he kind of helped, maybe possibly pushed Brian to make that decision to leave. And you gotta try to figure out who's going to replace him. Anyways, moving along. John Jones. Mr. Bones. For those of you who know me, I was able to spend a little bit of time with John. And by little bit, I mean a wee bit of time with him when he came into New York. He looked different. Yeah, he was still, like 6'4", 6'5"-ish, still black. Yes, that was all the same. But his eyes were clear. He just had a different demeanor, that he wasn't on roids. Now, I don't know if the sample that he popped for was a USADA screw up, but I will say this about Turnbull. It's traceable, but the shelf life in your body is very, very small. That's why when you take something like that, it's in micro something. It's in really small micro dosages. Yeah, that's it. Micro dosages. You know. This way it gets in your body and it gets out your body. And the only people that can get their hands on something like this and have it be a bad supplement that you can get popped for is all the bodybuilders that he's hanging with. So look, like I said, I don't know if he's innocent. I don't know if he's guilty. I want to give him the benefit of the doubt, but we've been on this merry-go-round so many times with him. I really, really don't know. I want to say congratulations to two people who I hate. Honda Rousey, or Ronda Rousey as her name actually is, and Travis Rousey, as we call him, Travis Brown, Mr. Rousey now, on their nuptials that went down on Saturday. And look, I don't know who came up with the 26th of August 1st, if it was the Conor Floyd situation or if it was Ronda and Travis for their wedding. But for Ronda to invite Dana, really, do you think Dana is not going to be at the T-Mobile Arena and go to your wedding? Here's the thing. I just hope, and look, I wish them well. I wish them happiness, even though, like I said, I hate them both to holy hell. I just hope Travis doesn't try to beat Ronda like he beat his ex, because Ronda will whoop him bad. Bellator 182 was Friday night, and two big stories coming out of there was AJ McKee, the 22-year-old phenom, going to 9-0. He's now has the longest Bellator winning streak at 9 straight. And then he called out SBG, Conor McGregor teammate, James Gallagher. Now look, I love James. As a matter of fact, I am one of the biggest SBG fighter guys out there. But here's the deal. AJ is going to be a tough matchup for James. And like I said, I like the kid. I mean, the kid's like a young Conor, honestly. But AJ's seriously tough, man. He really, really is. And he'd give him a hell of a fight. And the other news from 182 was Chidi and Jucani having his 7-fight winning streak stopped by Andrei Korshkov. TKO in the first round. But here's the thing. Chidi missed weight for the 6th time in 6 years. That's averaging once a year. You can't do that. And dude, I have harped a bazillion times. I have talked till I am blue in the face, and I keep, and to say it like Conor, I talk and I talk and I talk and I talk, but I put it up. I put it up. Here's the thing. And Bellator's not under USADA, so there's that going for Bellator. But somehow, someway, there needs to be a serious freaking rule put in across the board. Every company, I don't care if it's the UFC, Invicta, some rink-a-dink indie company in the middle of freaking Montana. If you keep missing weight, you go up a weight class. It's that simple. It's not rocket science, and it's not brain surgery. If I can figure it out, and I'm pretty freaking dumb, okay? If I can figure it out, I don't know why promoters and company presidents can't figure it out. Boy, that was a mouthful. Now, guess what? Here on BWRN on Spreaker, it's not just me today. For a while, I thought it was going to be just me today. But at 4:30 is Broadway Comedy Club Radio with Al Martin and Clayton Fletcher. And guess what? Al's a no-show. Big Boss Man ain't coming in today. Clayton is all by his lonesome. You know, maybe I'll stick around and I'll give him like a hug. Because like I haven't seen him in forever. But I just want to say, keep listening to BWRN. Lots of really good shows on here. Although mine's the best, I gotta say.
Oh, no.
You know, well, you gotta listen to everybody else too. Spread the love. Sort of like the way a horse spreads her legs. But that's getting way off topic. I want to do a quick little on this date. Happy anniversary, happy anniversary, happy anniversary, happy anniversary. So, on this date in 2002, Pride FC Shockwave went down, where Crow Cup TKO'd the brand spanking new Hall of Famer Kazushi Sakuraba in front of 91,000 people in Japan. 91,000 plus people showed up for that. That is an insane number. You know what 91,000 people is? That's like a lot. Okay. Then 3 years later, on this date in 2005, Pride FC's final conflict went down when Fedor, as my friend's girlfriend says, Fedor 1,000,001 ankles, Emelianenko, beat that same Mirko Krokop by unanimous decision. Although the main event, and I can't believe that alone wasn't the main event, but the main event on that card, Shogun Hua KO'd Ricardo Arona in the first round. And if memory serves me correct, and being I'm old and memory's first to go, I don't know if it does. I think that KO came from a head kick. I don't remember. And I should have done my homework and written it down, but sue me. And then 2013, UFC Fight Night 27 with a natural born killer, Carlos Condit TKO'd Martin Kampmann in their rematch. And then that Frankenstein looking son of a beep, RDA, who I'm going to be talking about RDA later, beat Cowboy Cerrone by unanimous decision. And that is what happened on this date in MMA history. Now, coming up after a quick message, we shall finally get into something kind of big happened the other day that is still getting talked about, even though people want to get past it. But we're not going to get past it till we're done with it after this.
Hi, I'm Jim Miller. This is Dan Murgliata. I'm Derek Marcy. I'm Nick the Carney Lance, and you're locked into the cage with Cyclone.
Okay, let's talk Conor Floyd. Because there's nothing else to talk about. No statues have been taken down. There haven't been any marches.
Cotto won the fight. He won his championship.
Okay, that's true. And sitting shotgun with me is my favorite producer, the best producer on the planet, George. I am not Nick and Nate's brother, Diaz. Okay. Now, look, let's talk first Paulie Malignaggi. Okay. Paulie, Brooklyn boy, who I love. When you sign an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement, you can't even toy around and tease that you're breaking that rule.
Yeah, true.
And any lawyer who is smart enough to pass the bar exam could possibly say, you know what? Even if you didn't break it, you teased like you did, you stepped over that line, and it's going to cost you.
Wow. What is he supposed to be quiet about?
Anything that happened in the camp when he was in with Conor.
Oh, okay.
And then him and Floyd, I'll be nice, I'm not going to call him peanut head, I'm not going to call him illiterate or tax evader or woman beater. I will be nice.
Champion.
I will call him Floyd.
Pretty boy.
But he went to his camp and they made a video saying that Conor's a sucker. They're going to be talking everything that happened at camp. And the second Paulie said that, even if it's not true, I think a lawyer needs to jump in. And even on Bonehead Picks, I wrote the article that right there I thought the people at Showtime should have taken him off, because he's now showing he is no longer being impartial. He is
Not
now
trustworthy.
Right. That he's breaking. Once you break an NDA, you're putting yourself behind the eight ball. You know, at least that's the way I thought about it.
Yeah. I hear you on that. I mean, if you're sworn to secrecy and you're sworn not to talk about something, you should keep your mouth shut. I agree with you 100% on that. And you shouldn't be teasing about what you know, because then you're going to have people speculating. And that's probably worse than telling them what the truth is. You know, speculation kills, bro.
Right. And plus, a Brooklyn boy of all things, stitches get itches.
Stitches
You know,
get stitches.
You know, he should know better.
Yeah, he should.
And he caught a lot of slack for it, but I don't think he caught enough.
Well, All I know is that I was pretty bored this weekend. You know.
And I will say this though about Floyd, listening to him while the fight was going on, I gotta say he called it down the middle. He was actually being the professional that people had hoped he would be, because he knows. Look, he's a broadcaster for Showtime.
Yeah.
If he even hinted that he's not going to be a professional, there would be such an outcry that they'd have to fire him.
Of course. Of
You know.
course.
And I don't know if you saw the post-fight press conferences.
I saw the post-fight press conferences, the pre-fight press conferences. I saw the get-togethers. I saw the barbecues. I saw the sushi bars. I saw everything.
I'll tell you, one of the best, funniest moments in the post-fight press conference, to me at least, was when Leonard Elby was taking questions, and Ariel Helwani opens up the questioning and he says, Leonard, you know, there were 9 sections upstairs that were completely roped off. Why is that? And Dana White, from sitting in the crowd before he got up to the stage, screams out, "Hey, Leonard, now welcome to my world," because Dana and Ariel have a lot of heat together.
So they keep them separated?
Right. So,
That's hilarious.
I mean, an event like this is basically only for the richest of the rich. You know,
I thought it was a joke. Honestly, after all the hype, I think all they did was really hype something up that they all knew was going to happen, and they made the money. And that's all that it was. It was all about the hundreds of millions of dollars. Nothing more. Not about the fight, not about who's winning or losing, because everyone knew, honestly, McGregor wasn't going to win. I told you that before. I said it the day before. I said it the minute the ring started, the sound started. I saw it from the first punch to the last punch. I knew he wasn't going to win.
you see, now look, I didn't mind that Robert Byrd was named ref because he's the type of guy that lets fighters fight, But at the same time, when he was giving instructions before the fight started, it kind of, to me, looked like a Saturday Night Live skit. That Floyd and Byrd were both looking down at Conor, and it was sort of like the David Spade bye-bye thing on the plane. You can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do this. And I'm like, what is it really going to be these two brothers beating up on the one Irish?
I didn't see it like that. I just saw it because, you have the MMA rules. So I think that people were just trying to, know. But Conor kept it clean. Conor actually boxed, and he did a couple of chops, but for the most part, he actually kept it really nice and clean and professional. He tried to wrestle a little bit by holding, Floyd down, but what are you going to do?
And look, you could get away with that in boxing,
yeah, of course,
but not as long as Conor did. And look, there's no bigger Conor fan than me, except for maybe Brendan Schaub, But
I like Conor. I don't dislike him. I just think he talked a lot of garbage for no reason.
Look, and as far as the scoring goes, when I saw the judges' scorecards, I was flabbergasted.
Why?
Because two judges only gave Conor the first round.
He had the first, second, and third.
Thank you.
To me, he had the first, second, and third.
Because you have eyes in your head and you're not blind.
But I also think that Floyd, gave him those rounds. That Floyd actually learned him in those 3 rounds and then destroyed him.
But that's neither here.
Neither nor there. I got you.
But for the judges to say Conor only won the first.
No, Conor won the first, second, and third. And almost the third. Not all the third.
And because the way I was scoring it, I also gave him the 8th. Because the 8th, he came back a little bit stronger. And the 5th round is split.
Yeah, I saw a lot of I saw every round of that fight. I used to box as a kid. So boxing, the jab, the uppercuts, the setup, the punch, the combinations and all that. It really actually goes all out the window once you walk into the ring. You have a plan, but someone else has a plan too. So your jabs might be not fast enough. Your uppercuts might not be fast enough. I just feel like McGregor was out of water, a fish out of water.
Yes, but you know what? Here's the thing. 101,000 people, all the boxing pundits, the boxing purists, most of the boxers living on this planet right now, all said he's not going to land a punch. Now that's a disgrace, because here's the thing: to say another man, he's not going to land a punch. Really, that's discounting. I can land a punch on Floyd.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think so, but
not to land a punch. that's awfully effed up to say.
Yeah. Oh no. I think McGregor. Look, if anyone, even though I don't care that he would have won, I think he has the bigger chances of knocking Floyd out than most people, because he is a knockout artist. He is strong in the UFC. He's a champion. He's cocky. He's everything that Floyd is. Honestly, if you cut them with a knife, they're like twin butters.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And they're amazing. I mean, just to see McGregor in UFC and see, a Floyd, Pretty Boy Floyd in boxing, those two are incredible sports. To combine them would be a mistake, because you can't take away McGregor's fighting skills, and you definitely can't take away Floyd's boxing skills. But to say that they were equal, no, never. It's just like you know what? If it was the other way around, like let's say Floyd was in the UFC fighting McGregor, Floyd would have came out broken. I mean,
absolutely
broken, because there's no rules, and the ref is not just going to stop because you're on the floor. They're going to wait for you to get 3 headshots and you're totally knocked out, and then they're going to jump in and be like, okay, enough, you hurt him enough. And in boxing is a different story. I think UFC doesn't care to save a fighter's life. Honestly, I really don't think so. I think that they should have a little bit more stricter rules when it comes to the knockdown. And once you're knocked out, you shouldn't get hit again. I've seen McGregor, when he knocked out that kid, he was knocked out he was standing knocked out, and he fell, and then McGregor jumped on him and gave him 3 hammer punches. I was like, whoa, that's a lot. Just because you can damage somebody's mental, or someone's brain forever. That's the only thing that I would say. But as a purist of violence, I say let it go on. But honestly, they should have a little bit better rules when it comes to like hurting people, because you can really get hurt in the UFC.
Yeah, absolutely. And you talk about the breakdowns. That's one of the things that I think that actually happened to Conor. I think Floyd was just mentally able to break him down. Because I'll tell you, I was sitting there, and after the third, I was starting to really smile. I'm like, this kid's going to pull it off.
Okay, you thought so. Yeah, I got you.
Absolutely. Because here's the deal. Everyone says, Floyd always takes the first couple of rounds off and then comes on strong. But here's the deal. I understand I can't say eventually, that's going to catch up to you, because he is 50 now. 51 if you count him beating his wife. 52.
Throw that in there.
52 if you consider him beating Andre, the giant in the WWE. So, look, 54 if you consider him beating the IRS.
Oh, okay. You're just angry, aren't you?
Yes, I am. I still am. Because
what happened? The great white hope got away from you. No, I'm just messing with you.
It's the fact that he was so disrespected by the boxing community.
Yeah, but you know what? Floyd actually, said it at the end. You can't take anything away from McGregor. McGregor, the boxing community can eat it, okay? And I'll tell you why. Because some of these guys never get into a ring. And some of these guys don't ever even know what a punch is.
And listen, I've dealt with it on Facebook since right after the fight. The fact of the matter is, everyone's, he's this, he's that. The fact of the matter is, he just did something that you don't have the guts to do.
Well, I mean, I would fight Mayweather for $100 million. I'd fight him. As a matter of fact, I would give him a fight of his life. Even if I had to bite his ear off, I would still fight him. But I'll tell you this. We have to really separate ourselves from people and the whole fan base and the whole experts and all of this. Because you know what? There was 2 warriors in that ring. 2 warriors. Not 1, 2. One is a boxing warrior, one is a UFC warrior. And they both did what they had to do. Floyd was going to win regardless because McGregor was out of water. Okay? You know, a fish out of water can't breathe. He dies. McGregor couldn't breathe. That's why he went down. You know, it's a big difference. And I was thinking, you know what, it might not be such a big difference if you're fighting 5-minute rounds in UFC, right? Because boxing is 3 minutes, you know, and UFC is 5 minutes. And I think UFC is brutal 5 minutes.
Yeah.
You know, so I thought that the stamina would be in McGregor. I thought he would have the stamina to fight even longer. But it's proof that it's wrong. You know, you do have to do a lot of running. You do have to do a lot of cardio. Strength training is okay. Lock training is okay. But when it really comes down to it, I bet you McGregor would even be more dangerous in the UFC if he started running. If he got his...
Well, that's the thing. That's the one thing that everybody, you know, says about Conor. And he even admitted afterwards to Ariel that in every single one of his fights, there's always a lull. And this is where he's talking about how it was BS that Robert Byrd jumped in to stop the fight.
I don't think that
because
was BS.
he has a habit of slowing down to such a point and then in between rounds regaining and coming back. Like
I understand that, but that would not have worked against Floyd. I'll tell you why. Floyd was tagging him from, like, let's say round 4 all the way to the last round. Floyd was tagging him. And you know something? You tag somebody too much in the head, you start losing it. McGregor took almost 3 minutes of unanswered punches. Almost 3 minutes. How do you not stop a fight that someone's not answering punches on? You know, you have to stop it. McGregor can talk all the shit he wants, and I respect him for that. But you know what? I think the referee did the right thing, just because of his career. And even Floyd said it. You live to learn and live and fight again. You know, instead of being brain damage. You know, I mean, McGregor's already brain damaged, but this would have been worse for him. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't like McGregor before. I still don't like him, but I respect him as a fighter. Like, he is a fighter. He's a fighter. He's one of those rare coins, you know? A lot of people, I'm a fighter. Yeah, okay, you're a fighter. Good for you, blah, 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 blah. He loves fighting. I think this is the only thing he knows how to do right, is how to punch people. And I'll tell you this, he's going to be very successful because he's so young. He's so young. And he's got heart, which is 90% of all the business is heart. So I give it to him. You know what I mean? I do. But if he wants to stay in boxing, if he wants to go to boxing, he's got a lot to learn. You know, a lot to learn.
Well, I think the him versus Paulie fight possibilities just went down a whole lot. Because, I mean, look, Dana said he doesn't want him boxing anymore. He has to come back to defend his belt. Now, you talk about the respect factor. I find it really, really interesting that fighters, not only in the UFC, but fighters in other companies as well, all hit social media and all gave him his props.
Yeah, he deserves it.
Except for 2.
Who?
RDA, Rafael Dos Anjos, who called him McChicken. Okay, and he calls him McChicken because of all things, the two of them were supposed to fight. Okay, before Conor fought Nate Diaz, he was supposed to fight RDA. RDA got injured and pulled out of the fight.
Of course.
So that's not Conor's fault that he pulled out.
No, he got hurt. He pulled out.
Right.
So why is he calling him a chicken?
Because that's the way RDA thinks. And
RDA is psychotic.
And the way I like to say is RDA, because he never got the chance to get in the cage with
He
Conor.
wants to talk shit. Sorry.
And no problem. And he just never got home to ring the wife and say, "Baby, we done it. Break out the red panties." You know, that Frankenstein looking son of a didn't get red panties with his wife.
Yeah.
I think that's why he's butthurt.
Yeah.
And the other one was, to quote Max Holloway, "Where's Jose Waldo?" Look, the fact of the
I
matter
don't even know
is
who he is.
Jose Aldo.
Okay.
The fact of the matter is, Jose Aldo was undefeated, the only UFC featherweight champ for 12 years. Undefeated. And kind of smoked him in 13 seconds.
Well, he was undefeated for how long?
12 years.
Well, you know what? It was time for him to be defeated because Conor's too young.
And look, here's the thing. Afterwards, Conor did offer him a rematch twice. Aldo refused those two rematches. So now Aldo keeps calling Conor a chicken and wasn't the real featherweight champ. Okay, then, I mean, Aldo has his own issues because Max Holloway smoked him and took the belt from him. So, I mean, Aldo, that little Brazilian and
Well, I hate Brazilian fighters. The only one I like is the Gracie family, and that's because they have class.
I mean, look, the only good thing about Brazil is the Brazilian wax down in Rio. Okay.
Well, you can't take away Royce's fights.
Oh, right, yeah.
You know, you can't take the
But-
Gracie family's name down. You know?
I just can't stand the fact that everyone else is throwing praise, and rightfully so. And these two look like spoiled little kids.
Who are upset.
Right.
Yeah.
I really just don't get it. And speaking of on the ref situation, I don't know if you saw this or not, but Skip Bayless from
No.
ESPN chimed in that the ref stopping the fight actually, in fact, saved Mayweather from Conor.
I think he's high on drugs.
Look, Bayless likes to be outrageous. Bayless likes
is high on drugs. That's what he's on.
I mean, he does have a tendency to say things, but once again, that goes to Bayless knowing that Conor takes a beating at times, goes down, and then in between rounds
Gets
that second wind and just comes back strong.
See, I don't think that he would have gotten that second win. The way he looked on that round that was stopped was Floyd 10 times faster than he is. 10 times faster.
And I agree with you on
You
that.
know, and it hits a lot more solid than he does when it comes to boxing. McGregor really is an amateur when it comes to boxing. I mean, he's not even an amateur. He shouldn't even be in the boxing ring.
Well, that's where he started from.
You know,
back
yeah,
when
but
he
he's
first
still
started.
an amateur. I mean,
Oh,
he's
absolutely.
still not. He still doesn't have the right coordination, the right formation, the right trainers. You know, honestly, this was. I think if you really want to hear it, I think this fight was more about, let's say, the white wing, and the left wing. That's what I thought it was. I thought it was a white and black fight. That's
It absolutely
because everybody made it to be like that. I honestly didn't look at it like that. I looked at it like, wow, this is going to be a slaughter. Doesn't matter what color the guy is against Floyd, because if he's a UFC fighter and never really knows how to train for that boxing, he's going to get his ass whooped. So I honestly hate the fact that it became a white and black issue. Because, the Irish were like, oh, the Irish pride. Irish is going to win. But the Irish lost. They lost.
Let me put it to you, and I'm surprised as many Irish came for this because the finances for this were so much more than any UFC event. And I've been to Conor press. Here's the thing: I've been to regular UFC press conferences, and I've been to press conferences where Conor's at, and the level is so obscenely different, and it makes me go like I'm every time I see it, I'm shocked, and I'm like, I don't know why I'm shocked.
You know what I like about Conor? He's an idiot. I love that he's stupid with his mouth. I'm not saying he's stupid, like uneducated. I just love that he's reckless. He is totally reckless with what he says, and you're like, oh my God, this guy's gonna get his ass beat so bad just for talking all this garbage. But, he actually, I think that him and Mayweather were both knowing what to do at the press conferences, or knowing how to get people mad, or knowing how to do all of that stuff. They're professionals about that stuff. So I thought the press conference was better than the fight.
I agree with you, except the one I was at, which was in Brooklyn, because that one just...
Which one? The one where...
In Brooklyn, the Barclays Center, because, first of all, there's always one-upmanship.
Nah.
So, here's the thing. Floyd was staying actually a couple blocks away from here.
Okay.
And he showed up 2.5 hours late.
To the press conference?
Yeah, and Conor was staying 3/4 of a mile away from the Barclays Center. And he showed up about 3.5 hours late. And it's always...
They were letting people get their beers and their popcorn and make
look,
all that money.
The air in the building just went out because it's... And the fact that they had Dougie Fresh on stage singing for like 3 hours.
Wow.
And...
He had 3 hours worth of music?
No, he doesn't. It was one song over and over
Which
and
one?
over.
Dougie Fresh,
Look at me and look at the Confederate flag. I don't know. I don't know Dougie Fresh songs.
You're a Jew.
Talk about black and white. See, but the Southerners don't know that.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
And that's the thing. Everything winds up turning into a race thing.
Yeah.
And honestly, the way I saw it as first it was Kennedy against Khrushchev. Then it was Hogan against Savage. Then it was Hillary against Trump. So this just raises the game. I'm afraid to see what's next.
Oh, yeah. Well, what's next is going to be ugly. It's going to be ugly. Yeah, horribly ugly. But, what do you think? Like, honestly, you saw all the matches. All the fight. Like, round 5 was nice. Round 5 was more of a hug and hit, hug and hit, hug and hit, hug and hit. Round 6, the same thing. Hug and hit, hug and hit. I honestly just say this. McGregor, you're a great UFC champion. But as a boxer, give it up. You don't belong in a boxing ring. Just like I don't belong in the UFC fighting him.
Now, I think at that same pace, if he said, Dana, I don't want to be in the UFC anymore. I'm retiring from MMA. If he turns around and gives the training that it deserves, and look, he is a type A personality. So when he goes all in on something,
he goes all in.
Right. If he does that with boxing, look, is he going to be like an Ali or a Frazier or hell no.
No.
But
he might be a Foreman.
He'd be a pretty damn good fighter.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if he'd be a pretty damn good fighter. He would have to. It's too much training. I don't think that he has it in him to train that much. I don't think that he has it in him to have the stamina, number one, from the beginning, the love for the sport. I think he's more the bloodlust.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I don't think
Absolutely.
he's a boxer. I think he's a bloodlust. You know, I think if he was in the ring, look, you know the game that they have, the UFC game, and now they have Mayweather and him in the UFC game, and you see the game, and then also you see McGregor kicking Mayweather in the head and shots in the elbows and all that. Mayweather doesn't win in the game. You know what I mean? He doesn't win in the game. If you put the same thing in a game of boxing and you put McGregor in the game of boxing, he would never win. You know, he would never win. That's the truth. He would have to fight bums. You know, and one of the things like Cesar Chavez, one of the greatest champions, he fought bums. That's why he was 90 and something. Because he fought 40, 50 bums. You know? So, yeah, he might be a great champion, but not a real champion.
Now look, I will say this: the fact that he landed 111 shots on Floyd, I think that's impressive.
I think Floyd let him. You know, did you see when Floyd started changing the game on him that McGregor couldn't even know what the hell he was doing?
Right, absolutely.
When Floyd just said, okay, you know what, I'm going to put my head in your chest, and this is going to be called tiring you out. Because you might be able to fight, but you don't know about the short hits, you know, the elbow-to-elbow hits. You know, there's shots that, you know, like, let's say I used to box, so I love boxing. The jab. The jab is your special weapon. Your jab. If you have a nasty jab, then you have a nasty game. If you don't have a jab, you have nothing. McGregor really did not understand the line. Like, he was fighting from the third box, from the outside the box. How do you fight from outside the box? Everything you do is telegraph. And a lot of his shots were telegraphed. You know, he could have got 111 shots, but I think Mayweather just said, okay, let him hit me.
But see, that's a dangerous game to play because any boxer, and this has happened in the UFC, where guys just stand in the middle of the ring, showboat, say, hit me.
Get knocked out.
Right.
Yeah.
Because, and what is shocking to me is Conor's overhand left. That's his one power shot. That's his one knockout.
How many did he throw?
0. And that is shocking that he didn't even snap one. Even in the first round, just to, you know,
to feel it out.
Right.
Yeah.
That's his power shot. Everyone knows that that's his power shot.
Are you saying that he got paid not to throw it?
Oh no.
Oh, okay.
I'm just really
Surprised,
shocked.
yeah.
Like, here's the deal: when he hit him early in the first round with the uppercut,
That was nice. That was clean.
And then he threw the right hook as a follow up to it. I was like, you know, that's when I smiled from ear to ear.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is the way this fight's gonna go.
You went white, didn't you? You got white. You got white on everybody.
I went cracker boomba clot. Oh my goodness! And let me tell you something. Where I was watching it, I was outnumbered 9-1.
Oh wow! That's
At
funny.
best.
Yeah.
At best 9-1.
You went to a party or a bar?
I was in a very large venue.
Oh, okay.
Seeing it, and normally I'm the type of guy, after an event is over,
You go home.
I like to sit, smile, and kind of like rub it in people's faces. That's how I treat strangers. I rub it in. I'm a real New Yorker. I got you. I see a stranger, I rub it in your face.
Yeah, I got you.
The second Robert Byrd got between Conor and the ropes,
Everyone left.
I was running out I was running out. I didn't want to deal with anybody, and
You got real New York. He's just like, no, I'll kill somebody. Let me get out of here.
And let me tell you something. I walked through crowds of people with my elbows out and popping people on the left and the right side of me. I was not having it. I was not having anybody look at me. I was ready to go gangsta on people. I was ready to go Bloods and Crips on people. But I want to say really fast.
Go ahead.
As far as the rest of the card is concerned, on the undercard, I was really, really impressed with Andrew Tabiti beating Steve Cunningham.
See, I didn't see any of the undercard. I didn't bother. I waited for the last show. We were at a barbecue, so I don't think anybody watched any of the undercard. We were too busy eating and drinking. By the time the Floyd fight came on, we're like, all right, now we're ready. You know, so we really... Yeah, but you saw... They were good matches, though. Yeah, I got to see, like, maybe 10 seconds of one or two. But there was plenty. But you know that there's, like, 11 matches before that match.
Yeah, those were the ones that weren't aired anywhere.
Yeah, they never get aired anyway.
But, Badu Jack the Ripper... beating Nathan Cleverly.
You know, Cotto won, right? I told you that already. Cotto, like, that was the... I honestly think that McGregor and Pretty Boy Floyd's real masterminded the not watching Cotto fight. You know, I think they boycotted the Cotto fight, and they the only way to do it is to have them two fights. You know what I'm saying? He won his championship belt. He won back. He got his belt, and you know, how do you take that away from a champion? And now, okay, this is one of the questions that I want to ask. He fought Floyd, okay? How do you think he would do against everybody else?
Okay, and you bring that up. There was rumors about him against maybe the winner of Canelo and Triple G.
Oh,
and look,
imagine him and Triple G.
Here's the thing: Triple G and Canelo, both of those guys
are monsters.
Are closer to Conor's age by a lot than Floyd is.
Yep.
So they're in that their primes right now. So of course, you take a guy in their prime and a guy with like little to no experience, it's not going to end well.
I would like to see Triple G beat his ass. I mean, not just and I don't even dislike Conor. I just want to see Conor walk in to a match. Like, you want a warrior? Triple G. You want a warrior? Woo, Canelo. You know what's going to happen in those fights? McGregor's going to eat teeth. You know what I mean?
Of course, and that's why those would never happen, especially now it's never going to happen.
Well, Triple G was like, I'll give him a chance. I think Triple G just wants to beat on him.
And here's the thing about Conor. And Floyd found this out early on. Conor is the best promoting showman in sports right now.
Well, I think they all suck. Okay, honestly, there's no one. Like, honestly, I don't like any of the promotions these days, and I'll tell you why. Because they're garbage. The garbage that they're spewing is garbage. But you know, and come on, and you can't compare Muhammad Ali. You can't compare, you know, Sugar Ray Robinson. You can't compare Sugar Ray Leonard. You can't compare any of these guys that were real boxing champions that would talk and put it out. Mano de Piedra Duran. You know, all of these guys were real promoting monsters. But they weren't like these guys. You know, these guys are like, oh, you fucking bitch. You know, you bitch, but you are. I'm like, wow.
See, but that's not. Conor is the fastest thinker. I mean, with Jeremy Stevens with the line, who the fuck is that guy?
Yeah.
You know,
who the fuck is that guy?
You got him telling Joe Rogan, I've talked bad about everybody, and I just want to take this time to apologize to absolutely nobody. You know, he is the best talker right now, and there is a good correlation with Ali. But the difference is Ali would come up with rhymes about somebody.
Ali would come up with viciousness that are beautiful.
Right, but
no.
it would be like rhymes. It would be like poems.
Yeah.
Conor is just a one-line
machine. I got you.
Right.
I got you.
Now, I don't think that. I mean, look, I don't think it would be possible even for him to head back into the boxing ring.
I don't think he should.
And here's the thing. He has so much work left to do in the UFC. There is, and people, here's one of the things people always say, oh, he's chicken, he's picking his opponents. Look, here's the thing. Anytime he fights somebody, they say, oh, he's picking his opponents. Well, here's the argument to that. George, look, if you have 9 people challenging you, you can't fight 9 people.
No, you can't.
There's no battle royals in the UFC.
They used to be.
You know,
The first ones, remember that?
although there is this one company in Russia that has like 8 on 8.
Oh yeah, I've seen that. I've seen that on YouTube.
Fighting
That's some crazy shit.
That is absolutely freaking nuts.
Yeah, that's really.
But at least then it's even teams. It's not 1,000,000,000 to 1.
Wow.
So you got to pick your opponents
Yeah.
if you have everyone
I don't
challenging you.
disagree with that. I mean, I think that you should listen. If a smart man would pick his opponents correctly, a smart man, an idiot would fight King Kong, being an ant. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, it's a big difference. You know, I think you should pick your opponents smartly. I think that you should fight the people that, not that you know that you can beat, but the people that you know are going to be fightable. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't want to fight, like let's say me, myself, I wouldn't want to walk in there, let's say Muhammad Ali on his prime days, me, George Diaz, walk in and be like, yeah, I'm going to fight Muhammad Ali. Are you out of your mind? You know, Muhammad Ali would laugh at me, be like, listen, we're not going to make any money, go home, you know? So I understand, you know, you have to pick your fights. You have to pick good fights. You have to pick the ones that you think you could win. Not that you know you're going to win, but you think you could win. I don't disagree with any of that. I think everyone should be, you know, businesslike. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm not going to fight someone who's going to murder me just to give somebody happiness. F that. You know, I'm not going to be, my fans could be all mad at me all they want. But guess what? I'm going home to be able to eat with a fork and a knife and a spoon and know which ones I'm using. You know what I mean? Come to it.
Right, and the fact of the matter is, now Conor is so set up, and here's the way he was set up. His kids are set up, his grandkids are set up, his great-grandkids are set up, and his great-great-great-grandkids are set up. And that is one thing, and people always give me hell for it, that I love to talk about Conor being so influential. And a lot of people, you know, call us names, you know, call us dick huggers, call us Conor McNuggets, you know. But the fact of the matter is, he is so inspirational. Because, look, 5 years ago, the guy was on welfare.
Yeah.
And he just had $100 million payday.
Yeah,
I mean,
no, you got to
it is
give
a
him
great
his props.
story.
The only thing I don't like about him is his arrogance. And I think that's all a show. So I hope that it's all a show, and I hope that he continues growing. But him, like, don't touch me, you know, all this other stuff, to me, you know, it's garbage. I see that he goes to fans' house, that he likes to do that, you know.
The guy with us fans is absolutely one of the best.
Yeah.
He really is. And I did an article on Bonehead Picks. Is Conor the newest Jackie Robinson? And I caught a bunch of heat.
Wow.
What are you, crazy, calling him Jackie? How do you compare him to Jackie? Really quick.
Why?
Because Jackie wasn't the biggest and the best in the Negro Leagues.
But he
Jackie had
loves
the
his
best
fans.
temperament. That's why Ralph Branca chose him. He wasn't the best. Satchel Paige, Josh Gibson were the best. He was chosen because his calm demeanor. Conor, and even a super fan like me, I've never called Conor the GOAT. I've never called him the best, the biggest, the baddest. But he has just the right amount of oomph everywhere else that makes him well-rounded, that gives him that same similarity. He didn't break a color barrier, or he's not like the first Irishman to be in the UFC, but it's just the influentialness he's had with people.
I don't think he's a racist either. I think he likes everybody.
Right, and he calls if you hear the way he talks, he calls everyone boy.
Yeah.
That's just his.
Oh no, I know that. You see, that's the thing is, like, you got a bunch of sensitive punks out there, a bunch of sensitive people. You know, these days everybody's butt gets clenched up when they hear different things. I don't think he's a racist at all. I think that he's actually likes the people. You know, like when I saw this weekend, I saw a special on him, right? See, even though, like, I don't personally, care, I still watch stuff about him because he interests me in the sense, like, he went to a fan's house who had his poster on the fire escape. Since he found out that McGregor was gonna fight, he had the Irish flag, all that, and he's like, "I'm gonna come back to see it," and he did. He came. The dude was like, "Oh my God, you're in my home!" And he went into his house. He saw the balcony. He saw the poster. He's like, "I love you guys." And then he left. I was like, "Wow, you know what? That's class. That's someone like Muhammad Ali." You notice that Muhammad Ali did so much stuff for people, black, white, and everything else. But people don't see that. They don't see that Muhammad Ali went out of his way to make peace and love for people. They're all like, "Oh, well, he was a Muslim, or he was this, he hated Jews." No, he didn't. He didn't hate anybody. He wanted equality for his people, just like anyone else would want equality for their people. But they went out, to see their fans. They went out to do more than they had to do. Roberto Clemente, another guy who died, in a plane accident, who did a lot for his fans in such a short time. So I love them guys. Like, I really honestly respect McGregor for that. I love Muhammad Ali for it. I love any sports icon that actually takes the time to say, "You know what? Forget you guys. The people that are millionaires, that are the sports psychotic people that have everything in the world, and goes to the people that don't have everything and gives them inspiration." So yeah, Conor is a great inspiration. I agree with you on that.
And you know what? I'm an inspiration to all of you. I know it. Even though you guys don't say I inspire you, I know it. It's just our secret. You want to keep on the down low. I get it. And I'm cool with it. That's all right, People got to keep it quiet, I have the rep. That's understandable. And I want to remind everyone to go and like In the Cage with Cyclone on Facebook. I'm always having raffles. You can win some really cool prizes.
You did no raffles this week.
No, because there's so much to talk about. I just had to push everything.
Well, I want something. I want something for being on your show, man.
You know what? You have my love. And that should be good enough because I make the world go round.
Oh, wow.
Or I'm as round as the world, as some people say. You check me out on Twitter at CYCIE19. Boneheadpicks.com. You can read all my articles. And there's going to be some news breaking about me on the site very, very soon. And of course, CycloneComedy.com. Now, I have some big show news that I teased on the Facebook page. Here is... See, I don't have drums. I wish I had... Okay, so September 11th would have been the next time you guys would be hearing my lovely voice. But September 11th turns out I have a very important meeting with a very, very important agent So I can't do the show. You guys are going to have to just live without me till Wednesday, September 25th. Because that's when the clone comes back. So until then, and like I said, follow the Facebook page because there might be some special stuff in the meantime. Just remember, just because you're not an athlete doesn't mean you can't be an athletic supporter. Bye-bye.